So you decide to start a podcast about the social impacts of technology on our lives today in one of the most dynamic times for technology in human history. Let me tell you. So you take this on and you start building episodes, and there is an absolute wealth of material. There's material all over the place when it comes to the impacts of technology on our everyday lives. Everywhere we look, all the time. And that's not including the giant monster that is AI. Monster in the sense that it's huge. Not necessarily that it's in the sense that it's ominous, although, in my opinion, some of it is ominous, if not insidious in the way that it's being rolled out. But there's loads to talk about when it comes to technology. I mean, the social impacts, they're with us all the time, constantly, from the way we babysit our children with our technology, to the ways that our technology is shaping language and the use of the English language, both written and verbal, to the ways that we feel isolated from one another. There's any number of impacts on the psychological, emotional, spiritual side that we hear every single day. Every single day, new research is coming out about these effects, about the ways that we relate to each other. And I think more deeply, I don't want to say important, I want to say that it's more profound, is the way that we relate to ourselves. All of this stuff has an impact because it's pervasive. It's in every single thing we use all the time. We tend to feel like we can't give up our technology, especially our mobile devices that are with us all the time. They've now created their own need, their own indispensability. And when you have generations that are growing up with this technology already in their hand. The other day I went to a restaurant and pointed out the fact that there was a baby at the table next to us, and that baby was definitely under 6 months, maybe 4-month-old baby, and was just completely enraptured by the mom's cell phone, which was playing videos. And I couldn't help but think about the fact that there are so many social cues, verbal cues, language skills that usually should be learned in environments like that. When you're at a table in a restaurant and you have to regulate your emotions, you have to watch people and learn how they talk to you, learn new words, especially the interactions with mom or dad or baby brother. The list is just endless. So back to the effort of making this podcast and creating this community called In Pursuit of Signal around these social impacts. And it's been a while since I made an episode. And I think, at least in part, it's been a while because it's been quite overwhelming to see the speed with which things are moving, at which things are moving. This unbelievable breakneck speed. And it's, I think, in my opinion, it's part real and part illusion. I think that developers and tech company owners are really driving an urgency in us, an urgency that is somewhat conscious and a lot unconscious. We hear publicized new AI technology every day, much less every week or every month. literally every day. You probably catch two or three news items about how important or how urgent it is to learn AI, to keep up with AI. And it's moving at these incredible speeds that honestly no regular human can keep up with. I actually don't even think that the owners of these companies really can keep up with it. I don't think that these are technologies that we fully understand, and we certainly don't have control over, just by virtue of the fact that it's a race and companies are trying to outrun each other. They're trying to outrun the adoption of these technologies by everyday average people. And they're trying to outrun their revenue, or in many cases, lack thereof. So it's like I said before, it's a super dynamic time. And in trying to create new stories, in trying to keep up with new technologies, I think I felt I was drowning a little bit in it. But every day, I have new ideas for new episodes, and I think about this constantly. The importance of this subject to me, and I think societally, is incalculable. Because our use of technology, forget the technology itself. I mean, technology itself is meant to be a tool for the most part, a tool that certainly creates its own need in some ways, but a tool nonetheless. It's our use of these tools, it's our deployment of these technologies that make them what they are and make them have the impact on us socially that they do. That is, in my estimation, the single most important topic, social topic of our time. When you really look at it deeply to all of its layers. For example, how many internet capable, internet accessible devices do you have in your house right now? I mean, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm looking at four of them right now. Four of them that are within my reach at this very moment. And those four are definitely not all that there are in the house. Between myself and my wife, it's a crazy number. For two individuals, it's a crazy number, and I'm sure that's a reflection of where most people are. So this topic begs examination. It begs examination on a regular basis. So at this moment, I'm recommitting to creating new episodes. Let's call it season 1.5. New episodes of In Pursuit of Signal, because I don't think that I can let it go. Well, I know I can't let it go. I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time. And it's a matter of commitment and consistency. And I want that consistency. I want that to be a thing. I want to be able to carve out time specifically for this because it's super important. As I found out when I taught an 8-session seminar course for middle schoolers this past spring, and what these really brilliant kids had to say about technology, which is really interesting actually because they're Gen Alpha, so definitely born into it. What they had to say was super interesting, and I'll be in one or two episodes I'll be talking about some insights that I gained from that class. It was the first time that I've been able to work with that specific generation in the classroom. In fact, I never really thought that I would be in the classroom again, but I was compelled by the nature of this school. I was compelled by these kids to join in. And, it's that old thing of saying, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. The kids taught me a lot. They taught me a lot about what it is to be a digital native, which I am not. They taught me a lot about judgment, about not judging them and their experience as right or wrong. I try not to do that anyway, and I think I do a pretty good job of it. But there were moments that I feel like I was judging only from my lens, and you can't do that. You just can't. I mean, I see people do it all the time. I see people of my generation and older do it all the time. And the fact of the matter is kids do what they do based on what they're practiced at. They do what they do based on what they're given in many times. And kids that have access to, I mean, which kids don't, but kids that have access to the internet, kids that have access to mobile devices that they can carry around with them all the time, they didn't go out and acquire those devices themselves. So any behaviors that we lament based on old rules, old etiquettes, old language skills, old senses of time, old usage of tools, if we're doing it from a sense of understanding, that's cool. But if we're doing it from a sense of judgment, that's not so cool, really. Because kids can only do what they're equipped to do. So if we're upset about their use of time, or upset about the fact that they have trouble relating, or they have trouble even speaking to somebody for any given period of time before they feel awkward, it's not really on them, because they're not practiced at that. And you can't just waggle your finger and say these kids today, when you're giving them the very tools to be practiced at being isolated, at not having linguistic skills, all of those sorts of things. It's a very interesting thing. So here I am, Jose Angel Castro is my name, recommitting to In Pursuit of Signal, Season 1.5. This will be, I think, Episode 8. And I also have another episode in the can with a good friend of mine named John Banks, and we had a very interesting discussion a couple months back, and I never got the opportunity to publish. Scratch that. I never took the opportunity to publish that episode. That episode will be published very soon. I'm really excited to be jumping back in, and I hope you'll join me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. We're going to take a journey together. There are many, many other guests that I'm looking forward to having on the show, because everybody's got experience with this. Everybody. And everybody has a story to tell around the way they use technology, the way technology affects them personally, the way technology affects their relationships. And I want to get into it. I want to get into all of it. And not just mobile technology, not just AI, but things that are going on in medical technology, things that are going on in transportation things that are going on in the exploration of space. All of these things have an impact on us in one way or another. So let's look into it. I hope you'll join me in pursuit of signal.